allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Mrs. Glassball?
Here.
Mrs. Hildebrand? Here. Mrs. Hoskins? Here. Mr. Bob Jones?
Here.
Mr. Tony Jones?
Here.
Mrs. Chop? And Student Representative.
Here. And if you could call the calendar.
Tuesday, May 21st, 2019, there'll be a school committee business meeting.
Thank you. I can tell you that our wind energy presentation is going to have to be rescheduled. The individuals weren't available this evening, but do we have any other recognitions?
Dr. Humbert, you can go first.
Okay, I will start. First of all, we had Mary Beth Clark, who received a certificate from Johnson & Wales at the reception breakfast that they had at the national conference, and she received a full scholarship to the university. That's unbelievable. And then at the state's financial literacy challenge, seniors Connor Trask, Mary Beth Clark, Olivia Supran, and Maya De La Torre, members of NK's DECA chapter, placed second in the state. And then at the DECA International Career Development Conference, the one in Orlando, Connor Trask won both a silver and a blue ribbon. At the statewide economics challenge, members from Mr. Garland's Global Business and Economics course took the Rhode Island Economics Challenge for the first time, so they were the winners of that whole thing. Tristan Owens, Russell Gaston, and Cameron Tuttle took first place in the challenge. And then in the art department, we had a lot of things going on. The work is being shown right now. They had the opening on Friday, which was lovely. This weekend, Amelia Cormier received a notable award for the International Healthy Whale, Healthy Ocean Challenge. Also, Chase Goulet, or Goulet, I'm not sure how you say that, received honorable mention, and Alexis Romano received third place at the Jim Langevin Artist Discovery High School Art Competition. Ms. Romano's work will now be on display at the Congressman's Warwick office for a full year. Brooke Frizzle will receive honorable mention, and Elena Minerick will receive her third place win at this year's Senator Jack Reed's High School Art Competition. For placing third, Elena will have her work displayed in Jack Reed's Providence office for one full year. The reception will take place at the Warwick Mall on May 19th. And then one last thing, we had an honorable mention for Gabriella Cannavale from the high school. Her teacher is Janice Strain, and she was won an honorable mention for the Lindsay Ann Burke Memorial Fund poster contest.
Congratulations to all of them.
And it sounds like a broken record at this point, but both the band and our chorus and orchestra, in fact, have last weekend participated in multi-state competitions, and in all cases they were the first place group. So kudos to our music program. It couldn't be going any better right now for that program. It really is something special. So
Congratulations to them as well. It does become so routine, but
yeah.
it's not. But you get used to it, though.
This is not the normal thing for school departments. So
Congratulations.
very fortunate.
Citizens' comments. I don't see anyone in the audience lined up to speak today, so we will move on to our routine items. If I could have a motion to seal our executive session minutes of May 7th, 2019.
So moved.
I have a motion from Mr. Jones, a second from Ms. Hoskins. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. And I just can disclose that no votes were taken in this evening's executive session. For the consent agenda, any exemptions?
Yep, B1 and 2.
Okay, B1 and 2. Any others? If not, I would ask for a motion to approve the non-exempted consent agenda items.
So moved.
I have a motion, Ms. Hoskins. Need a second? Second, Mr. Robert Jones. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I assume B1 and 2 you just want to abstain from, so I need a motion to approve items B1 and 2.
So moved.
And a second. I'll second it. I don't know if you're there. Okay, I'll second it. All those in favor of approving items B1 and 2? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And abstentions? Ms. Hildebrand. Wait,
Mrs. Hoskins too?
Jenny, were you
I was
there?
not here.
No, you weren't here, so it's,
So I abstain.
okay, so there you go. So it's 3 yeses and 2 abstentions. And moving on, we have the approval of the library curriculum. I could have a motion to approve item E.
So moved.
A motion to approve item E.
Second.
And a second from Ms. Hildebrand, so motion Ms. Hoskins, second Ms. Hildebrand. Any discussion?
Should we just have the superintendent,
Yes.
assistant
I
superintendent,
think
just describe for the public what
Just a brief
components
overview.
of it?
An overview
Of
of
the
the
library
library
Yeah.
curriculum. Oh, I'd be happy to. So we're on a 7-year cycle for our curriculum revisions, and this year we have 4 revisions that we have done. So this was an important one because there's new standards that were just rolled out about a year ago, 2 years ago, but they became public about a year ago. So the entire staff of our library digital media specialists worked on this curriculum. They all took pieces of it, and the product is what you see.
Any questions on it? Okay, I have a motion and a second. I did have a motion and a second, yes. just
Yes.
checking. Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Anything on 2017-18 audit?
No, I had hoped that I was going to have an update, but the FY18 financials have not yet been issued. I'm not really sure the delay. I hope they get issued before we start FY19, which is going to be in a matter of months. But no, they have not been issued yet. We're still waiting.
That would be nice.
Mm.
Do we know, Ms. King, if we have a schedule even for the auditors to present yet? I know not to us, but just to.
No, I know the communication has been sparse, but I haven't seen anything. I think probably since we don't have the financials issued yet, they haven't scheduled any update. But I will check in with the town manager on that to make sure we know when they're going to be in front of the town council. So the auditors that are wrapping up FY18 will not be the auditors going forward. So there was a new RFP and everything going forward. There'll be a new group going forward. So.
And the point for us is since they're so late, they all we generally like because we pay for a significant portion of the audit, the auditors to present to us. It probably will not happen again. So if you're interested in it, you need to see when it's being presented to the town and become an interested member of the audience, I guess.
Next, 2018-19 school budget?
No update.
2019-20 school budget. The town, I know, just approved the town budget, of which we are a part.
And we will have an update for you at the May 21st meeting.
Bringing ours into alignment.
Yeah,
with this.
absolutely.
So, and the 10-second version is the town council, and I want to thank them very much for approving our requested allocation. That was with respect to the operating budget that was approved in full. With respect to our capital projects contribution, unfortunately, the town did not fund that at all. I was a little disappointed in that, and was thankful to President Mancini on giving me the opportunity to sort of speak to that, to try to persuade the members of the town council, and to explain our position on that and why we asked for those funds. Unfortunately, didn't change any minds, but we've always talked about how important it is for us to have a continuing source of funding for capital improvement projects, because the way it's always been done in our budget is that it's a separate line item approved by the town. It's not a line item within our own budget. It's never been done that way. It's always been a separate allocation, and last year I was very pleased to see that funding was restored with a request, but this year it's gone again, which is going back to the dependable source of funding. It has not been a dependable source. And what I've tried to explain, some of the commentary that I've heard offline and at the meeting, frankly, was that the town just approved a bond with significant funding to the school department, and they didn't see the need to give us additional funds. The point I tried to make at the meeting, and then I'll make again, is that the bond is funding for the fact that no money had been set aside in past years, so that when we needed to do these capital improvement projects, we didn't have the fund, we had to borrow it. The point behind doing it going forward is to correct that, what I see is that error, which is to provide us with funding into essentially a savings account so that we can move away from a reliance on bond financing and the interest and expenses that go along with it, and simply budget for expenses that we know are coming and be responsible about that. We can't just bury our heads in the sand and pretend that we're not going to need to fix roofs, that our track doesn't have a finite life, that the new athletic complex and turf that we're putting doesn't have a finite life. All of these things, just like anyone's home, are going to need to be replaced. And I'm just very disappointed that the town continues to ignore these capital needs and just which will mean that years down the road there's going to have to be another bond and we're going to have to borrow the money again. I'm hoping that when the conversation comes around next year, I will continue to make the case that I made this time, say the same thing again, and I can only hope that we have a slightly different result going forward. So I think it's extraordinarily important. There's my speech. Anyone else want to comment on that?
No, I think it was a very good surmise. I would just add too that, again, perhaps a little confusion, but the general point of, now that we've approved the turf complex, and I know the town is doing some stuff with parks and stuff, dedicating some money in what I would call longer-term capital reserve, because we know those things are going to need to be replaced in 5, 10, 15 years, and they need small amounts added every year, so there's not a big demand in years 5, 10, 15. So I'm hoping, yes, and I'm hoping, our discussions with the town council going forward, and the superintendent with the town manager, that for next year's budget process, we can maybe make that clearer, more formalized, so we do start setting aside funds for those big projects that we know are going to need $1 million, $2 million, 10 and 15 years from now.
Regarding capital also, I don't think I did this at one of the other meetings, but I would like to thank Mr. Ed Cooney and the Asset Management Committee. This would be the first year in the 7 years that I have worked here, 7 years today, that they actually recommended that we receive capital funding. So that was a big turnaround for us, but unfortunately it didn't work out.
Well, and the town did not fund its own capital funding either,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the 2019-2020 school budget, CIP existing bond or future bond. And then we have...
I just have to, so Mary, are we on track with our
track.
paperwork? Yes, on track with the track.
Yes, actually, we had a pre-construction meeting today with the contractor, and we're moving right along. So the town manager was very quick in getting the paperwork to us. We got it by the Thursday after that meeting. I have a couple of follow-up pieces of paperwork to send to him that come after the contract's awarded. So we're moving right along.
Thanks to the town manager and his staff for helping move that along.
Thank you. And then we have in your packet special reports of some disposal notifications and the financials. Any questions on those? If not, we've reached the end of our agenda and ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion from Ms. Huskins.
Second.
Second from Ms. Hildebrand. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.